I think I've mostly decided that I would prefer to be doing starting strength. The issues that I'm having with this program, aside from having to do a 1 rep max 3 times a week, are that I don't think that my connective tissue is adapting quickly enough for the increased loading that I'm doing. I don't think that I'm adapting quickly enough in that regard on all of my lifts. So with the squats, I'm mostly noticing my knees are in pain, and I think that has a lot to do with my hip mobility at this point. I used to think it was my ankle mobility, but I'm noticing my foot position. My feet are really bowed out for the width that I tend to squat at, and I think that my hips are just not allowing me to get into proper position, and I'm going to look into how I can perhaps strengthen my glutes so that I can get my femurs where I need them to be in my hip joint. And then I'm also going to I'm still looking at improving my ankle dorsiflexion. I'm sure I mentioned that before. I'm going to try to improve both of those qualities. And then I'm also going to try to do a little bit more targeted abdominal work because I'm noticing that when I'm standing upright, I have excessive lordosis, which I think is just me not giving a shit about my abs and never training them. I'm supposed to contract them so I can brace under the bar better. That's part of setting up for a squat. And I don't think I'm doing it. At least I'm not doing it consistently. I am doing the breath, and I am trying to hold it to the best of my ability, and it's been really easy past 2 or 3 workouts because of the sore throat that I have. It's a little easier to talk today than it has been for a couple days, but I know I'm probably going to run out of my voice before the end of this video. So I'm looking at my feet again, and I see my knees go straight forward and my toes pointing out. And I think that what I'm doing is trying to find the path of least resistance, and I'm not letting the shoe do its job. It's supposed to shove my ankle back as my foot tracks, or as my tibia tracks over my foot. So like my back foot right now, that's what it's supposed to be doing. But instead I'm trying to like find a corner on the wrong side of my foot for my leg to track out with. See, look, I'm trying to fix it right there. I know I'm starting to notice what I'm doing wrong. I think there are 2 problems with my shoe. One of them is that it's too narrow. I think my pinky toe is like bulging off the platform of the shoe, and I need to get a wider foot shoe. And I also think that I might need a higher lift in the back. I don't know that I'm at my limit for ankle dorsiflexion. I'm going to continue to work at it. I've only been working at it for the past maybe 2 weeks. So I'm not going to immediately try to fix my problem with a purchase at this point, which is kind of what I did with buying the shoes in the first place. I was like, okay, I can squat when I'm trying to get something at the back of a fridge. I think I'm ready to try to squat under a bar, and then I tried it in my chucks and I couldn't quite hit depth, and I looked into what some quick fixes would be, and lo and behold, shoes. But the shoes are not fixing everything. I'm going to have to work on my mobility, and I think that trying to work on my mobility while also trying to hit PRs on my squat are probably a recipe for disaster. So as per my desire to do a deload so I can work on my mobility and work on my squat form, I might as well just do starting strength. And I've been oh, there goes my voice. I've been talking to people in Discord recently about what programs they should be doing. And honestly, if you're not doing a linear progression of some kind, if you're not doing strong lift, starting strength, the other one that I tend to recommend is is Reg Park's beginner program, which I think is also a 5x5. I haven't looked at it in a while. It just has more volume of overall work, and it tends to favor taller lifters a little bit, in my experience with recommending stuff to people. But or not just taller lifters, but taller lifters looking to put on more size, to like lanky lifters. That's the term I'm looking for. Taller lifters that are lighter and they want to fill out their frame. They tend to want a little more volume so they can start using their calories for their aesthetic potential sooner. Anyway, I kind of want to follow my own advice. I'm a re-beginner because I have history with the lifts. I know what they should look like, and I know I'm not doing it. And I'm kind of pushing my luck with a lot of these lifts. So I think I need to check my ego and really try to nail down form. That's the purpose of starting strength anyway. A lot of people think that it's just a program for noobs or whatever, and it is, but it's also an opportunity to learn and not just get strong. And I really hate my presses, for one thing. They've stalled horribly and have at this point regressed. So I'm going to really work on this when I'm doing starting strength again, for sure. But another problem I've been having with pressing is just the way that my chest and shoulder feel. And I think it's because I'm not benching. I've done some incline benching just last week, and it resolved a lot of the issues that I was having recovering between workouts. So during the weekend, I think it was Friday that I did the incline bench. Over the weekend, I felt a lot better while I was recovering, and I think it's just because I'm trying to reinvent the wheel here and trying to be too specific when I'm not even strong enough to live in that zone yet. So I think going back to starting strength is the move for me. It kind of puts money where my mouth is in that regard too, because I keep recommending that people do linear progression until they can't, and then start worrying about more specific programming. You can take that time that you're doing starting strength to learn other things too. You can learn about programming so you can make a program that will work for you when you're done with starting strength, rather than trying to replicate results, which is you found some program on the internet and now you're vastly stronger. What's the next program off the internet that can make me vastly stronger? And that's not how it's going to work anymore. Once you're done with starting strength, you've got to have the knowledge for how to progress towards your goals on your own. It's just a platform. It's just your foundation. It's not supposed to set you up with the mindset of, I don't have to think about this anymore. I can just plug in numbers and go. So that's probably been the main benefit of doing things the way that I've been doing it for the past month or so, doing these one workouts. It's just that thinking about my programming as I've been going along and trying to compensate for things. My squat hasn't needed any programming so far, but other than that 1 week where I fucked up on Monday. But my press, for example, trying to work around that's been annoying. So hopefully I won't have to deal with that for too much longer. I think either Wednesday or Friday I'm going to definitely just start starting strength and start a new playlist of just those workouts. There'll be a playlist for this workout that I've been doing. It's not all the workouts, but it's the same basic setup has been demonstrated repeatedly. And these are the lifts that I would train if I were stronger and could progress on them. But that's all for now.
Hey everybody, look what I got. I got my thought shorts from Italy.